When I was a child, I had some difficulty learning how to read. My parents thought I knew how, but it turned out that I was just memorizing the books and reciting them back to them, which is kind of impressive all on its own. I mean, reciting a whole book back to your parents as opposed to reading the book, that's pretty awesome. Regardless, I needed some help learning how to read, so they put me into a special class. I guess you could call me slow. But eventually I did learn how to read. I really wanted to be like my sister. She had this love for books. I would watch her weekend after weekend consume book after book. When I was young, I didn't have the most ideal childhood. And throughout all the messed up times, there was always one constant: fiction. I could pick up a book and I could escape away from what I was in. It would take me out of the house, it would take me away from my family, it would transport me to another land with other characters and happy endings. And that was inspirational for me, because if I never learned how to read and I didn't read to the extent I did as a child, I wouldn't have wanted to become a writer. Reading didn't provide me the grammatical or spelling skills that I needed to construct a proper sentence, but it did show me how you could use your creativity and how you can develop characters and plots and how you can wrap things up so nicely into one little package in 300 pages. This past weekend I put together some bookshelves, which are behind me, and I'm going to show you my new bookshelves, and I'm going to explain some of the things that are on them, because there's a lot of junk on them, and share with you a little window into who I am as a person, because you can tell a lot by someone's bookshelf. I think the most important thing you can learn from mine is just how nutty I am. This is my bookshelf. Let's start at the top. I have my little gargoyle guy. I have my Harry Potter books. Yes, I am a Harry Potter fan. That's a piece of art my sister gave me. This is a lighter, and hanging off of it is Dan Holloway's Skin book. This is my dictionary. Everybody needs a dictionary. They probably don't need a dictionary this big. My zombie playset, my swag lamp, a boat, a mushroom. Okay, on the first two shelves, these are my classic books. And all across here, these ones are also classic novels, but they are some of my favorite writers: Kurt Vonnegut, Harlan Ellison, John Steinbeck, William Golding, Jane Austen, Charles Dickens, Aldous Huxley. I have an Evil Dead sticker, and a horseshoe, and an anchor, and Porker, and my little tiny fruit. Some of you oldies from Athonomy will recognize this. I had this as my book cover when I initially uploaded Seeking Eleanor to Athonomy. These are VHS. I couldn't get rid of it. It's my Ed Wood box set. It comes in this furry pink case. These are my Gears of War dog tags. Yes, I have Gears of War dog tags. These are my diaries, chocked full of interesting facts from when I was about 18 to 24. It's not very interesting. The third shelf down from the top, I have my Pirate Head pencil toppers. These are some of my older books. This is my Chucky doll. He's intimidating. On this shelf is a lot of books that wouldn't fit on any other shelf, and they're kind of awkward. I have the Brownie Handbook, a Rikki Tikki Tavi, my cult movies, my piratology books. Now, I might be a little bit of a cliche. Two of my favorite authors are Stephen King and John Irving, and I have quite a few of their books. There's another anchor, a boat wheel box. These are my cool candle holders that I stole from my parents. This is a reference shelf that's kind of weird books like the Rolling Stone Film Reader and V is for Vampire, 501 Most Notorious Crimes, and Old School Dracula. There are my pirate books next to my Holy Bible, and of course just more books. And these are also candle holders. I have one here and one over here. This shelf is dedicated to my junior classics and my companion library, which are children's books basically. These are my Christopher Pike books. It's sort of like my guilty pleasure shelf. It's at the bottom where no one can really see it. I read them when I was like 12 and I just can't get rid of them, and I keep this sex book in front of them so nobody sees. So that's my bookshelf. I'm going to show you a very small selection of some of my more treasured books that I own. This is one of my most favorite books. It's just a little Christmas book. It's 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. It's super cute. This is a simple pocketbook. I stole this from my teacher when I was in grade 8. There's something about the book that just clicked with me. Treasure Island. That might not come as a surprise, but apparently one of the kids who read this didn't enjoy it. And the inscription, which you probably can't see because it's in pencil, says, "If you can read this, you are nuts." Ah, kids. They're so funny. I mentioned before that Little Women is my favorite book. It still is. I have the works of Edgar Allan Poe. It's fancy. It has a gold spine. Edgar Allan Poe was so badass. I really hope you enjoyed checking out my bookshelf, and I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next week for That Girl Tyson.
General quarters, all hands man. man your battle stations. All hands man your battle stations.
This is my favorite Christopher Pike book. It's called The Weekend. When I was growing up, it was either Christopher Pike or R.L. Stein that people read. Obviously, I was a Christopher Pike gal.